the unspoken struggle. Why we need to talk about mental health stigma. We live in a world that celebrates achievement and resilience. We're taught to put on a brave face, to push through our struggles. But what happens when the struggle is invisible? This is the reality for millions of people living with mental health challenges. They face an often unspoken adversary stigma. Mental health stigma prevents individuals from seeking help and living full, authentic lives. Silence only perpetuates suffering. It's time to break the silence and shed light on this critical issue. We need to talk about mental health stigma for all of us. Because when anyone is silenced or shamed for their mental health, it diminishes our collective humanity. By understanding mental health stigma, we can begin to dismantle it. This journey begins with each of us. It starts with a conversation. Unmasking stigma, understanding the shadow of judgment. What is mental health stigma? It's a complex issue, but at its core, it's about negative attitudes and beliefs about mental illness. These attitudes can manifest as prejudice, discrimination, or social isolation directed towards individuals with mental health conditions. Stigma is often rooted in fear and misunderstanding. Historically, mental illness was attributed to supernatural forces, moral failings, or weakness of character. While scientific understanding has advanced, these harmful stereotypes persist. Stigma can take many forms. It can be overt, like discriminatory hiring practices or bullying. It can also be subtle, like avoiding someone with a mental illness or making dismissive comments about their condition. Regardless of its form, stigma creates a culture of silence and shame. It prevents people from seeking help, disclosing their experiences, and accessing the support they need to thrive. Invisible walls. Who does mental health stigma affect? Mental health stigma affects everyone. It doesn't discriminate based on age, race, gender, socioeconomic status, or any other factor. Anyone can experience a mental health challenge, and anyone can be impacted by stigma. Statistics show the staggering reach of mental illness. Nearly 1 in 5 adults in America experience a mental illness each year. Suicide is a leading cause of death, claiming tens of thousands of lives annually. Globally, millions of people with mental disorders remain untreated. These numbers represent real people with families, dreams, and aspirations. They are our friends, neighbors, colleagues, and loved ones, yet stigma prevents many from seeking help or disclosing their experiences. Stigma thrives on silence, but we can challenge it by speaking up, sharing our stories, and advocating for those who need support. The everyday battles is when and where stigma takes root. Mental health stigma can surface in countless situations, often when we least expect it. It can be as commonplace as a throwaway comment about someone's behavior, dismissing their struggles with mental health as attention-seeking or dramatic. It can manifest in the workplace, where disclosing a mental health condition can lead to fear of judgment, discrimination, or even job loss. Families are not immune to stigma either. Well-intentioned loved ones struggling to understand the complexities of mental illness might offer unsolicited advice or downplay the severity of the condition. This can leave individuals feeling isolated and misunderstood within their own support systems. The media also plays a role in perpetuating stigma. Sensationalized portrayals of mental illness in movies and TV shows often reinforce negative stereotypes and misconceptions. This can fuel fear and prejudice, making it even harder for individuals to speak openly about their experiences. Recognizing the subtle and overt ways stigma manifests in our daily lives is the first step towards dismantling it. By challenging insensitive language, advocating for accommodations in the workplace, and promoting understanding within our families, we can create a more supportive and inclusive environment for everyone. The impact of mental health stigma extends far beyond the individual. It creates a ripple effect, influencing families, communities, and society as a whole. When people are afraid to seek help or disclose their experiences, it delays treatment, worsens symptoms, and increases the risk of negative outcomes. Stigma contributes to a culture of silence that prevents open dialogue about mental health. This silence can be deafening, leaving individuals feeling isolated, ashamed, and alone in their struggles. It can also prevent friends and family members from offering support, fearing they might say or do the wrong thing. The economic burden of untreated mental illness is substantial, resulting in lost productivity, increased healthcare costs, and strained social services. When individuals don't receive the support they need, it affects their ability to work, learn, and contribute to their communities. We all have a stake in creating a world where mental health is valued and supported. By challenging stigma, we are not just helping individuals, but fostering healthier, more vibrant communities for everyone. Breaking the chains. Strategies for dismantling stigma. While the task of dismantling mental health stigma may seem daunting, it's a journey we can embark on together. One conversation, one action at a time. Education is one of our most powerful tools. By learning about mental health conditions, we can replace fear and misunderstanding with knowledge and empathy. Sharing accurate information about mental illness, treatment options, and recovery stories can help dispel myths and reduce prejudice. Open and honest conversations about mental health are crucial. When we share our own experiences, we create space for others to do the same. This vulnerability helps normalize mental health challenges, breaking down the walls of silence and shame. Advocating for policy changes that promote mental health parity, increase access to affordable treatment, and combat discrimination is essential. By working together to create a more equitable and supportive system, we can ensure that everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Remember, even small actions can make a difference. Correcting misinformation, challenging discriminatory language, and showing compassion to those struggling are all steps in the right direction. Your voice matters by sharing experiences and sparking change. In the fight against mental health stigma, our voices are our most powerful weapons. Sharing our own experiences, whether we live with a mental health condition or have been touched by the struggles of loved ones, can have a profound impact. Your story has the power to challenge misconceptions, inspire hope, and create connection. When we speak our truths, we chip away at the walls of silence that allow stigma to thrive. We show others that they are not alone. There are many ways to share your story. You can start by talking to trusted friends and family members. Consider writing about your experiences in a journal, blog, or letter. If you feel comfortable, you might choose to share your story more publicly through social media, support groups, or advocacy organizations. Remember, your story is yours to tell. Share what you feel comfortable sharing when you feel ready. Your voice matters, and your willingness to speak up can make a world of difference. Continuing the conversation, a collective responsibility. Addressing mental health stigma is not a one-time conversation, but an ongoing dialogue. It requires a collective effort from individuals, communities, and institutions working together to create lasting change. We can all play a role in fostering a culture of empathy and understanding. Educate yourself and others about mental health. Challenge discriminatory language and behaviors. Support organizations that are working to improve mental health care and reduce stigma. As we move forward, let's approach these conversations with compassion, curiosity, and a willingness to learn from one another. Let's listen with open hearts and minds, recognizing that everyone's experience is unique and valid. Remember, change happens gradually, one conversation, one action, one person at a time. By working together, we can create a world where mental health is no longer stigmatized but embraced as an integral part of our overall well-being. Embracing our shared humanity. Imagine a world where people feel safe to seek help for mental health challenges without fear of judgment, where individuals with mental illness are treated with compassion and understanding. This is the world we must strive to create. Dismantling stigma is about transforming our understanding of humanity. Vulnerability is a fundamental part of the human experience. We all experience moments of struggle, sadness, and anxiety. These emotions remind us of our shared humanity. By embracing vulnerability and extending compassion, we create a world where everyone feels valued. Let's challenge stigma and create a future where mental health is a catalyst for connection and healing. If you found this information informative, please subscribe, like, and share. Together, we can make a difference.